The most dangerous thing you're doing right now is thinking smaller than your potential.
Stop thinking small. It's costing you. You were not born with a small life in your hands. You were trained into it, conditioned, shrunk by repetition. Not by lack of talent, but by quiet agreements you made with doubt. Agreements you don't even remember signing. Somewhere along the way, you lowered your aim. You told yourself it was being realistic. You called it playing safe. But what you were really doing was negotiating with fear, and fear always writes the contract in its own favor. Small thinking doesn't announce itself loudly. It whispers. It says, "This is good enough." It says, "Don't want too much." It says, "People like you don't get things like that." And slowly, almost politely, it robs you. It robs you of momentum. It robs you of conviction. It robs you of the fire that once made you believe you were capable of more. History has never been moved by people who thought small. Edison didn't invent the light by hoping for a candle that burned slightly longer. Lincoln didn't preserve a nation by asking for comfort. Carnegie didn't build an empire by setting modest dreams and waiting politely for permission. They expanded their thinking before the world expanded for them. Because the size of your life is always limited by the size of your thinking. Most people don't fail because they aim too high. They fail because they aim too low and hit it. They build plans that don't scare them. They chase goals that don't demand growth. They choose paths that don't require courage, then wonder why life feels small, heavy, and repetitive. Your mind was designed to stretch, but comfort trains it to shrink. Every time you tell yourself, "I can't," your mind obeys. Every time you say, "Maybe later," your future listens. Every time you choose ease over effort, your potential waits, patient, unused, and slowly fading. This is not about arrogance. This is about alignment. You were built for expansion, for responsibility, for pressure that sharpens you instead of breaking you. The moment you start thinking bigger, life responds differently. Your posture changes, your decisions tighten, your excuses lose their grip. Small thinking keeps you busy. Big thinking makes you dangerous, to limits, to doubt, to the version of yourself that settled too early. And here's the truth most people never confront. Small thinking feels safe today, but it costs you tomorrow. It costs you the life you could have lived. It costs you the strength you never developed. It costs you the confidence that only comes from pushing beyond what once felt impossible. You don't need more talent. You don't need better timing. You don't need permission. You need to stop shrinking your vision to fit your fear and start expanding your thinking to match your potential. And once you do, nothing stays small for long.
Comfort will always argue against growth. It will tell you that ambition is dangerous, that standing out invites judgment, that wanting more somehow makes you ungrateful. But comfort has never built a strong mind, and it has never shaped a meaningful life. Look closely at the people who remain stuck for years. They are not lazy. They are not stupid. They are mentally cautious. They rehearse worst-case scenarios until courage feels irresponsible. They overanalyze until action feels reckless. And in doing so, they confuse overthinking with wisdom. Thinking small teaches you to wait for certainty. But certainty never comes before action. It comes after commitment. Every great shift in history began as an unreasonable thought in someone's mind, a thought that didn't fit the evidence, a thought that didn't ask for consensus, a thought that refused to be resized to match current conditions. When Henry Ford imagined a world where ordinary people owned automobiles, experts laughed. When Disney envisioned worlds that didn't exist yet, bankers said no. When Carnegie believed a poor immigrant could redefine industry, logic disagreed. But logic always serves the present. Vision serves the future. Your mind is either expanding or contracting. There is no neutral state. When you avoid big thoughts, your mind doesn't rest. It weakens. It loses its edge. It forgets how to carry weight. That's why discipline begins in thought. You cannot act big while thinking small. Your behavior will always bow to your beliefs. If you believe your limits are fixed, you will protect them. If you believe growth is dangerous, you will avoid it. If you believe success is rare, you will treat opportunity like an intruder instead of an invitation. Strong minds are trained, not gifted. They are trained to tolerate discomfort, to delay gratification, to hold a larger vision even when results are slow. This is where most people retreat, not because the path is unclear, but because it demands a new identity. Big thinking forces you to shed the version of yourself that stays hidden, agreeable, and safe. It demands that you become visible to criticism, to failure, to responsibility. And that is the price of expansion. But here's the shift that changes everything. The moment you stop asking, "What if I fail?" and start asking, "What if I grow?" your energy changes, your decisions sharpen, your standards rise. You stop negotiating with mediocrity. You stop explaining your dreams away. You stop living as if your best years require permission. Thinking big is not about outcomes. It is about alignment between what you know you're capable of and how you choose to live. Once that alignment locks in, action becomes inevitable. And when action follows belief, life has no choice but to respond.
You were never meant to live inside the boundaries of other people's expectations. Those boundaries were drawn by fear, passed down as advice, and disguised as realism. But realism, when it is built on limitation, is nothing more than inherited doubt. Every time you shrink a goal to feel safer, you train your mind to distrust its own potential. You teach yourself that wanting more is reckless, that aiming higher is arrogant, that dreaming beyond your current reality is naive. And slowly, quietly, you begin to confuse survival with success. But survival is not the same as living. A strong mind does not ask, "Is this guaranteed?" A strong mind asks, "Is this worthy of my effort?" That is the difference between people who drift and people who build. Small thinking clings to evidence. Big thinking creates it. When you wait for proof before belief, you will always arrive late. History is written by those who believed first and figured it out along the way. They were not fearless, they were committed. They did not know every step, but they trusted their ability to adapt. This is where mental power is forged, in choosing growth over comfort, clarity over excuses, direction over delay. The mind must be conditioned daily, not with hype, but with standards, with intentional thoughts, with questions that stretch you instead of protecting you. Ask yourself, what version of me does this decision serve? The one that stays safe or the one that becomes capable? Because every choice is a vote for expansion or contraction, a vote for courage or convenience. And over time, those votes compound into character. You don't need permission to think bigger. You don't need validation to aim higher. You don't need approval to outgrow who you used to be. The cost of thinking small is not immediate, but it is permanent if ignored. It shows up years later as regret, as quiet frustration, as the haunting awareness that you played beneath your potential. So let this be the line you do not cross again. The moment you stop downsizing your vision to match your fears. The moment you decide that growth is non-negotiable. Think bigger, not because it's easy, but because it's honest. Because deep down, you already know what you're capable of. And the truth is this: thinking small has already cost you enough.
This channel isn't for everyone. It's for those who choose discipline over excuses.